It's special.
It is a very rare thing.
This has potential to blow up. I declare.
What's up? This is Rob Markman bringing you the knowledge behind the music. This is Genius on Fuse. Today we're checking in with Alicia Keys, and we're gonna get the meaning behind her motivational single, Underdog.
To this day, people swear that the guy in the room produced the record. I produced the record, you stupid
And then we're gonna go behind the scenes with the making of Kendrick Lamar's Backseat Freestyle with my man Hit Boy.
It just made it feel like he was really just spitting like with the homies in the backseat for real.
We're also talking with Chainz about his new label, The Real You.
We all want to be millionaires. That's the goal.
An underdog is somebody who's like expected to lose. This song is really talking about how do we defy the odds. For me, born and raised between Harlem and Hell's Kitchen, my mother raised me, single mother, in the craziest Hell's Kitchen streets ever. So I definitely started with underdog roots. For so long, I didn't have any drums on Underdog because it didn't even want it. The guitar has that rhythm so much. So I think that's what made me start to approach the verses with these cadences that felt like you could, I think like it feels like it's walking. It feels like it's driving. It feels like you're living life. You're moving in the space. She was walking in the street, looked up and noticed he was nameless, he was homeless. Like living in New York, growing up in New York, you always walking where you're going. That's how you get there. You always seeing people in the street. You're always seeing homeless people, and they are nameless. And in fact, everybody that you cross in the street is nameless. You don't know them. That's the thing about a big city. It's like you don't know people all the time. Most of the time, you're just shadows. And when there is a time when you've seen a person, in this case, it was a homeless person, and you think about that person. How did they get there? What's their story? Who are they? And so that kind of set the scene for this New York energy. She asked him his name and told him what hers was. He gave her a story about life with a glint in his eye and a corner of a smile, one conversation. That happens when you happen to run into somebody that you didn't know, and next thing you know, you're like, man, I had this conversation today that blew my mind. And that only happens when you're open enough to actually share a moment with a person. And so that's what this particular line is describing. And then when it goes to a glint in his eye and a corner of a smile, it brought him alive, and it gave him a little joy. It gave him something to pick up on. And so we definitely wanted to express that feeling. A simple moment, the things that change us, if we notice when we look up sometimes. They said I would never make it, but I was built to break the mold. The only dream that I've been chasing is my own. Without question, I don't think there's a soul on the planet that hasn't been told in some way or another that they're not gonna make it, or they can't do that. Why would you try to do that? You ain't gonna do that. Why would you try to do music? Only 1% of ever. Well, how long is it gonna take you to put that out? It doesn't seem like anything's popping for you. Women don't really get into that field. You probably shouldn't waste your time there. Whatever the case, our ancestors who had to deal with so much and be told no so many times. But did that stop us from evolving and getting to where we are? No. Anybody can relate to this idea of they said I would never make it, but I was built to break the mold. That's my favorite line. So I sing a song for the hustlers trading at the bus stop. For me, hustlers is not just one type of person. I think that's really important. That's why I love the choice of words. Trading at the bus stop is a really important choice of words because, hustlers to me is somebody who is really trying to figure out how to make sure that their situation continues to evolve. And they're going to work really hard at it. They're going to be very crafty and creative about how to do that. So there's endless versions of what a hustler is. You know, I'm a hustler. So that to me is really powerful, and that really resonated with me because it gives an array of pictures of a person who's tenacious and who's really gonna figure it out and make it happen.
Single mothers waiting on a check to come.
Now I have kids my own, and I ask my mother all the time, how did you do that? How did you do that? Really? And so I respect her more than ever now.
Young teachers, student doctors, sons on the front line knowing they don't get to run.
Teachers, I mean, they're the most valuable people in our society, and they constantly don't have enough. Student doctors who have to put in so many hours, so much time, you know, don't receive they're chasing their dream. The line that kills me is sons on the front line knowing they don't get to run. That one, right now, I got like the tears well up in my eyes and the chills go on my body just because like, whoa, like that alone is everybody. I hope that people have the confidence to know that they're worth rising up for.
As soon as it turn on, people go crazy. It's an energy to it, you know, it's more than just a beat and a song.
This goes out to the underdog. Keep on keeping at what you love, and you'll find that someday, soon enough, you will rise up, yeah.
To me, this song is also about the unsung heroes. You know, the ones that probably will never get rooted on, the ones that will probably never know their name, you know? But definitely, my mother is an underdog, and she's a great inspiration. She's a big inspiration for this song.
She's riding in a taxi back to the kitchen, talking to the driver about his wife and his children.
She's riding in a taxi back to the kitchen was, for me, 1,000% Hell's Kitchen. It was 1,000,000% an ode to where I grew up and the city that raised me. And that kitchen, you know, what makes it so intense is that, you know, there's just all types of people there, and you're always in the cab kind of trying to get where you're going. It's crowded, and, you know, maybe you have a few minutes to talk to the driver. Maybe you don't. You know, in this case, you do.
And on a run from a country where they put you in prison for being a woman and speaking your mind. And she looked in his eyes in the mirror and he smiled. One conversation, a single moment, the things that change us if we notice when we look up sometimes.
Who would think that you would talk to this man and get his take on why they're in this country? Why are they here? Why is he driving? What is he hoping for? What dreams is he chasing? And thinking so much about immigration, thinking so much about the border situations and the issues happening there, and how many stories I've read about what drives people and what drives women to make that crazy trek to try to find a safe haven, unfortunately only to sometimes, you know, be separated from the people they love.
Everybody rise up. You gonna rise it. Hey! I sing a song for the hustlers.
I mean, I hope that people rise up first for themselves. Like, I hope that people have the confidence to know that they're worth rising up for. I hope that people will also rise up for each other. We got enough situations happening on the planet that need a lot of rising up for each other.
As soon as it turn on, people go crazy. It's an energy to it, you know, it's more than just a beat and a song. It just feel like a just getting off.
Martin had a dream. Martin had a dream. Kendrick have a dream. All my life I want money and power. Respect my mind or die from last child. I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn, I feel amazing. Damn, I'm in the matrix. My mind is living on cloud nine, and this 9 is never on vacation.
being from Cali, like I really felt like I knew this person. I felt like damn near like it was me. Good Kid, Mad City remind me of just like being in Pasadena, being in Altadena, and just like the different types of people, like family members, going to church. The first sound I ended up using, like which inspired pretty much the whole beat, was this loop I found. So what I did was just the way it cut through is like kind of gritty. You can't avoid or ignore that sound. I just built that breakup. Like I didn't even like start on the beach yet. Like I just was still stuck on like trying to find something to make that tie in. So like I used like 4 individual sounds and made my own break. I found this kick right here. I found this kick right here that went along with it. So when you put that in, you get. And after that, I needed a snare, like some type of top end on that break. So from there, I found a guitar hit. It was, you know, feeling like some old school Dre, Eazy-E type. People really got to give Dre his credit. Like, he was going crazy with the break beats, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like just having that feeling, like that essence. Then when you put it all together, it's like, now it's time to start building the beat. I ended up finding this crazy, dirty sounding bell. Then from there, I found an 808. EQ'd it a little bit, put a kick like pump on it, normalized it. Definitely needed a snare. This part was like Timbaland-ish, you know what I'm saying? So just finding something that was reminiscent of just the energy that he would bring on his beats. Damn near sound like some old school Timbo. Then what I did was layered it with another clap snare type sound just to give it a different texture. So when you put them together, it's... By the time I got to this point in the beat, like I was just flowing, I was just gelling. So I was going through sounds, and anything that I felt like added, you know, extra something to the beat, I added it. So I ended up finding this right here. I found another sound for this turnaround, this break. Then after I added that, I just felt like, yeah, this ready.
I'm blessed, I'm up, and I'm a real life millionaire.
By the time I got to this point in the beat, like I was just flowing, I was just gelling. So this sound right here, just like to give it a little more energy on the turnaround. The scratch is hard too though. I just like played it off of the snare. Then after I added that, I just felt like, yeah, this is done, it's ready. That's what it came out to be. Kendrick came through my crib actually. I was living in Tarzana at the time. I think it was him and Dave Free. Took the beat, and I remember him texting me like, yo, we got one. The energy, the way he flipped it, and, you know, just made it feel like he was really just spitting like with the homies in the backseat for real. When I heard the line, like him say, killing everything from to him, Hit Boy beat, that was crazy. Him shouting me out and liking the beat so much that he wanted to say something about me, like, you know what I'm saying? That mean a lot. He's just a person who is forward thinking, so he always gonna elevate, and I'm excited to see what's next for him for real.
Hip hop has some of the most storied music labels in the whole business, all right? And we love on the come up, we love the origin story, we love to see it come together. And right now we're at the origin of one of the dynasties being built right before our eyes. And I want to have them on this show so we could talk about it, we can introduce y'all, we could chop it up, all right? We're talking about 2 Chainz. It's here, T.R.U. is the label.
Yep.
No Face, No Case is the album.
That's right.
And we here now, man. What's up, man? Welcome to For the Record, fellas.
What's up, man?
Appreciate you having us, brother.
Nah, man. Thanks for coming. I just want to do a quick introduction real quick, go around the room almost like elementary school style, and then we're going to cut all the funny and get into the real talk, man.
Yo, it's the one and only Hot Locked In. Yo, I'm Schooly.
Sleepy Roll. It's World.
Nah, man, definitely welcome to the show, man. And Chainz, man, the man needs no introduction. You pay attention to the history of the game, and where the game's going. And I feel like this has been bubbling for a minute, and you could have kind of chose any time, but what makes now the right time for really this T.R.U. introduction?
I feel like it's the right time for me to just bring somebody else up, bring somebody that's from the city of Atlanta. I wanted to start there first. That's my backyard. I wanted to start with the youth, obviously, someone that needs an opportunity, that needs to be given a chance.
Was there anything that surprised you in like going through this process, saying that you was like, oh, wow, I thought the music industry was one way, but it's actually another way?
Working. Like, you get no break. Like, man, you ain't get no break, no sleep, no nothing. Like, nothing. Like,
Right.
just working. All day you doing something. Interview, recording. And when you ain't working, you doing something related to working. Like, you ain't get no break until you sleep for real.
And that's what I think people need to understand about the music business. You don't clock in or clock out.
Right.
Like, I go on paycations. That means I get booked in Dubai next week. I take my family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I go. It's a vacation to some people. I'm getting paid to go. That's how I move. I don't have time to go on vacation, chill, take pictures on the beach. Like I'm addicted to working though. Right. That's what I'm trying to get to them. Like I love working. Like we was in the studio till 5 or 6 in the morning. That's why. And then we've been up since 9 o'clock. So we all have and pardon us if our energy a little lethargic, but we happy to be here. But we was up acting like rappers last night. So if you look at our IG, we way more lit than what we is now. But we knew this was gonna happen. But like a part of being the real you is like coming as you are, we all got each other's best interests. Like we all want to be millionaires and change our family life. That's the goal. But I thought I was gonna come in every verse, and I never came in. That took my ad lib. So I can tell you, man, I've done a few verses, not for Ye, but for a project for Ye. And man, I had a song. It was a song that came out on a Good Music Project where it just had my ad lib. I thought I was gonna come in every verse, and I never came in. That took my ad lib, but that's him. But so I know if you got my ad lib, I did a verse, and to the point where I can't even remember. Even when Mercy came out, I was in a hotel room in California, and I did it was me, Tiana, Saha, I remember. And he makes everybody get on the same song, you know what I mean? And so with Mercy, it had Big Sean and Pusha T on it. And I remember Saha writing this verse, and they was just getting all these verses. And I don't write. And so I did the verse, and then they pulled up maybe 3 more songs because I was knocking them out while we were waiting on a few other people to do verses. And then I got a phone call that said, this is going to be the single that come out tomorrow. And I was like... And I couldn't even remember what the song was. And then, Ye wasn't on the song originally. And it didn't sound like that. So when it came out, the beat had to switch up. And then I started realizing what post-production meant to music, what it did to songs, like how a beat can sound one way. And then like when you add and just take the time. And so that was some of the most interesting process. But at the same time, I've had verses that I know high level, never seen the light of day. They may sometimes, but I can't get mad because I appreciate the opportunity. When I go over there, I went over there one time for, what's the name of this? Champion? What is it?
Oh, it's like 100 people on the joint, right?
I want to say Travis on there.
Yeah, Travis. I think Quavo's
on there.
People. Yeah.
All right, so when I came over, it was Justin Bieber, Ty Dolla $ign. I think Ty was playing something for him, and it was like 5 people in the room. So he played this like, bro, this bitch gonna be hard. We finna put this bitch out tomorrow. But he didn't put it out for months later. I want to get you on. I said, bet, give it to me. I go to the, he's like, give it to you. It's right here. And so, like they don't use the boo. So I did my verse right here in front of Justin Bieber, whoever was in the room. And it wasn't like I was skeptical or scared to do it. It was just like being ready. And they actually used that verse on there. But it's just situations where sometimes if you don't use it, it's not that sometimes it could be that you don't come hard, but then it could be sometimes that people just hear something else for the song. And you always think it's your time. But I'm happy my time didn't come until it came. When I went to go get my deal, somebody spoke on my behalf, like, man, we about to go have a meeting, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So with them, I was like, y'all come to the meeting. You know what I mean? You meet, you know, the executives of Atlanta. You know what I mean? And that's a different thing that I carried over from my previous situations that I ain't had nothing to hide from these boys.
So that's just one. So the DTP deal got done at Def Jam Player Circle. You was a part of that deal, but never got to go to New York or sit in that meeting.
I sat in a couple meetings, but it was a couple major meetings that had to do with me and my life and my budget that I had no idea about. And it's probably still something they don't know about because it's their first go around, but I feel like I'm the perfect person to do it with because I don't have no reason to take nothing from nobody. I'm having mine, I'm blessed, I'm up, and I'm a real life millionaire.